woman who just went online bragging about being the reason 475 people were just arrested. It didn't go the way that you thought, did it? Because the way that you were so happy to share with the world voluntarily that you were the one that contacted ICE, that got that Hyundai plant that was in the middle of being constructed completely shut down, and over 400 people arrested, most of them being Koreans, which you seemed kind of confused about until you realized that Hyundai is owned by Koreans, and that the reason they had so many people from other countries here was because they knew they were going to have to train Americans to do this job, because all of their instructions from Korea were in Korean. So they got approval to send people here to the United States to construct their massive facility in the way that you were like, now look, there's over 475 jobs that are now going to be available for people in Georgia because they weren't giving these jobs to Georgians. That's right, they couldn't give these jobs to people in Georgia because none of them spoke the language. And her narrative of bringing 475 jobs to people in Georgia are making the world laugh, because anyone who understands that they were just constructing this facility, this was going to be a facility that would have given nearly 9,000 jobs to people in Georgia. She had zero concept of that. All she saw were people from other countries in her state, specifically in her town, and it upset her so much that she contacted ICE and said that she was doing it because they had unsafe working environments and they weren't getting paid enough. So she contacted ICE. Because of her fight for the people of Georgia, they have lost all of their people who were going to train them for the jobs that this facility would have brought. The owners of this facility, the investors, the people paying for it and bringing all of these jobs into the state of Georgia, are now threatening to can it all. That's right, they are going to shut down this construction site, and they are not going to continue building their facility that would have brought almost 9,000 jobs to her state. Would have not known any of this had she not come online and bragged about it. Oh, and she's also running for Congress.
I don't think William Tecumseh Sherman did as much damage to the state of Georgia as that woman who called ICE on Hyundai and their employees, had them all detained, and now South Korea is throwing a massive fit. They sent their own citizens down to train Americans so that they could be fully functional in this factory. Trump and MAGA complain all the time. Where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? Are overseas. Bring them back to America. And then when we finally do, some dumbass, bitch-ass idiot calls ICE and has these people detained. Now South Korea has sent a plane, picked up all their asses, and who knows if they're ever coming back. This is going to take 8,000 plus jobs away from the state of Georgia, and possibly many more, and all this manufacturing that they would have had, all the money this would have generated for the state of Georgia and our country is now potentially gone, and that may just be that little portion. There could be more significant backlash coming from South Korea, Hyundai, any other South Korean company who was thinking of bringing jobs over to America is going to think twice now, because some idiot decided to call ICE. They decided to call ICE on these people and have 400 plus human beings who have done nothing illegal detained. Good job. And this woman is running, I believe, for Congress. Yeah, have fun with that. Republican, Democrat, whatever. I can't imagine anybody in the state of Georgia is on board with what that foolish person did. So, yeah, Sherman may have burned his way to Atlanta, but you set Georgia ablaze as well.
So, to Tory Branham, a MAGA congressional candidate and a U.S. Marine Corps veteran, posted after posting online that she had tipped off the ICE, months ago about the alleged workplace violations at a huge Hyundai battery plant under construction in Georgia. She defended her moves as patriotic and in line with her beliefs about illegal immigration. But immediately she got clap-backed. So people say that she sabotaged Georgia's economy because the plant was part of a multi-billion-dollar investment, and if you tip the ICE, detain workers, of course you risk harming the business project itself. Now, others pointed out that diplomatic fallout, there were many foreign nationals detained, especially South Koreans. Now, which made it not just a local issue, but one with international eyes on it. And South Korea, a big business deal, features trade ties, all shaken. Social media users dragged like a couple of few videos that we've watched as our prelude, and there are many more that you're going to watch. So the drag towns on consistency. How can she claim to support, quote unquote, bring back jobs, and also cheer up an ICE raid that detains hundreds of workers, even if it's temporarily, possibly threatening those jobs? People called it a walking, contradiction. And of course, others made it so personal, and they criticized her character, her judgment, saying that she prioritized her political image over the lives of people who might be working under tough conditions. Now, these are the stakes. These are the stakes of the clap back. One, economic versus political, tensions. And when large investments are at stake, actions that threaten stability are bound to get pushback. Yep, and immigration debate continues to be a double-edged sword. People want law and order, but they also demand responsibility when that law threatens livelihoods or brings international consequences. And of course, the third one is image matters. But Branham supporters see her move as bold, but critics view it as reckless. That split can strongly affect voters, especially in districts sensitive to jobs, immigration, or even foreign investment. So Tory Branham has not backed down. Of course, she claims that she did what was, quote unquote, what I voted for, to get rid of all illegals. But she's using the controversy as a political platform. But these could, of course, cost her among voters worried about job security or economic growth. And it may even alienate moderate Republicans or those who see diplomacy as trade as important. So what am I talking about here, guys? So me and you are going to watch, and of course, you're going to circle towards the end of this particular show with more thoughts and comments over the same. So stay put. Let's keep on watching.
I was the one that reported 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah.
A woman who just went online bragging about being the reason 475 people were just arrested. It didn't go the way that you thought, did it? Because the way that you were so happy to share with the world voluntarily that you were the one that contacted ICE, that got that Hyundai plant that was in the middle of being constructed completely shut down, and over 400 people arrested, most of them being Koreans, which you seemed kind of confused about until you realized that Hyundai is owned by Koreans. And that the reason they had so many people from other countries here was because they knew they were going to have to train Americans to do this job. Because all of their instructions from Korea were in Korean. So they got approval to send people here to the United States to construct their massive facility in the way that you were like,
So there were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah. And I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE. But it goes beyond just someone working illegally. Let me explain to you. These people are working for slave wages. Some are not getting paid. Some are being trafficked. They send money home to their country. They give money to their handler. They have hardly anything left. They live in homes 5 families deep, have no quality of life. It's modern day slavery. So if you think that ICE is just going in and ripping people out of their jobs, these hardworking people that want a better life, well, guess what? Politicians have really screwed these people, because when they came here, they thought they were, hey, the border's open, we're coming in, we're going to get the 5-star treatment, and we can go to the big Walmart, and we can live in a 5-star hotel, and that's just not how it is. It's very bad conditions, very inhumane, and the Biden administration started a humanitarian crisis. So y'all can't just look at it like they're ripping good people off the job. They're probably saving their lives in the long run. I just want to say, for all the haters, just wait until the rest of the story comes out about this raid. And the other information that I passed along about some other factories has a little bit to do with human trafficking and people being brought here against their will to this country, basically put in slave labor. It's all going to come out. It's going to come out probably that there are dead bodies buried at some of these places because they didn't want to call the police and let them know that they were hiring illegal labor. That's all going to come out. But imagine being mad. I didn't have anything to do with the Korean aspect of it, but I don't like modern day slavery. That is not okay. But imagine being someone who reported your neighbor for not covering their face up in 2020 or because they left their yard during a curfew. Okay, but then being enraged because somebody reports literally people's lives being endangered. And that doesn't make me a racist. And I'm sorry, but the people that align with me agree with me. And that's what matters. And everything that's going on is what I voted for. This country needs to be cleaned up.
Cannot tell me this woman is not a complete moron, whether you support what she did or not. Tory Branham came online and proudly said, yes, I'm the one who caused 475 people to be detained at that Hyundai facility. Completely saying the name wrong. She has no idea how to even pronounce the word, but she keeps saying it in all of her videos. I was the one who called ICE and got all those people detained, and I want y'all to vote for me because I'm running for Congress. And then when she started getting backlash because people were like, are you serious? She's like, yeah, all these jobs are now going to be going to people in Georgia. Very confused on the fact that Koreans were involved, having zero understanding that this was a Korean facility that was being built, hadn't even started production yet, still has no understanding because she's now spent it every single way she possibly can trying to defend her actions, saying it was unsafe work environment, saying people were not paid, saying that they were using all of the water resources and animals were dying. Everyone's like, none of that is true. And she's like, well, these people were here illegally and they shouldn't have been here. So y'all should still support me. And people are like, do you have any understanding? And she doesn't seem to. Because this was a $4.3 billion battery facility. The 475 jobs are nothing. This was going to be over 8,000 jobs once this facility started running. She potentially lost her state thousands of jobs, but the economy billions of dollars. Because now they're saying just this one delay is going to push them into next year. But what was this facility going to do for the United States? Is it important? Yes. This one facility was going to ensure the United States independence by granting us access to a renewable resource we could create within our own country. Let that sink in. $4.3 billion battery facility that was going to grant us independence and access to a renewable resource. And we're not just talking batteries for vehicles. These batteries will be used by utility companies to store energy. They're going to be used in data centers, hospitals, medical facilities. For regular people like me and you, we're talking laptops, computers, cell phones. We're talking power tools. This was all going to come from this facility. There are 3 smaller facilities in the United States that are running, but it is not anywhere close to what we need as a country to keep us running effectively. This one woman potentially stopped it all because now the president, the investors in Korea are saying, you know what, just send all of our people back. Stop construction. We're going to think this one through. Because you guys made a promise to us. You said that we could come here and build this facility. I think this was only like 1 in 5 facilities they even have. Now it could potentially not happen. We would have never known that this woman was behind it had she not come online and bragged about it like an elementary schooler on their birthday. But she wants you to vote for her because she's running for Congress. Can't pronounce a fucking word, but she wants to run for Congress.
Can you imagine threatening someone's life, threatening them on the phone, threatening them on Messenger, threatening their kids, and then when they clap back, you say, oh my God, how dare you talk to me that way? You're running for Congress. You should be more of a Christian when your behavior is anything but Christian. I love it when the atheists lecture people. You know, y'all are the poster children for the mental health reform we need in this country. You really are.
Hi, as someone who worked on the Blue Oval Ford plant, Blue Oval City up here in Stanton, Tennessee, kind of, in between Jackson and Memphis, I stayed there for about a year last year working on this project. And let me tell you something. A woman who is claiming that she called ICE on that Hyundai plant in Georgia, this is going to be so much bigger than just Hyundai. Okay? Ford itself, the most American car manufacturer you can think of, every single bit of our machinery was set up and programmed by South Koreans. The engineering of the building, the engineering of the machines, every bit of it was done by SK Engineering out of South Korea. Yes, the same SK that is part of SKT T1 Telecom, the big league team. Yeah, Faker, this guy, their engineering branches who designed and set up these machines. What they do is for the years that the plant is being built, because South Korea is heavily invested in our electric vehicle manufacturing and production. So what they do is they design the machines, send them over here, we set them up, millwrights, everything else. We set the iron, we set the building up, we get everything up. And then they come over, set up the machines, and then train American workers how to run the machines. This woman not only just cost Georgia billions of dollars with this plant, because I highly doubt that South Korea will send their workers back. If they do, it's going to be under very strict rules for the Trump administration. If you don't think that word will get around to every other car manufacturer, because it's not just Hyundai. It is Ford, it's Chevy, it's Nissan, Mazda, Toyota, every single one of them. The machines are designed, installed, and set up by South Koreans. It's the biggest, when you think of car plants, it's intertwined. So no, you idiots have not only just cost Georgia billions, you've created a massive diplomatic problem that this administration will not be able to handle right. And on top of that, there's a good chance that any of these other car plants that have gone up in the last few years that haven't had their machines set up yet, odds are you've just fucked with those jobs as well. You are talking about tens of thousands of American jobs. Poof, up in smoke. So congratulations, MAGA. Your racism is once again going to cost us billions of dollars because you guys can't get over the fact that people who aren't white are better than you.
Those of you harassing me over this whole raid at the Hyundai plant.
Her racism caused a $4.5 billion mistakes. She called ISIS on all those Koreans who came to the Hyundai plant that Korea built in America to build cars, Hyundai cars. Her hatred cost a $4.5 or $4.8 billion fucked up. And you know what I love about Korea? Their leader, they send a plane to come get their people. They're like, oh, send our people back. The president of the United States is causing problems international where a lot of country, they will not want to do business with United States. And this bitch thinks calling ISIS on a bunch of people who are here in a work visa and a business visa to come to make sure everything in the plant is running well. And they are dragging her to filth. Because not only did she just probably cause them to shut down the plant, but she also probably caused a lot of people to be out of jobs as well. And also, it shows that the people that work for immigration, especially the ISIS people, they didn't do their homework. Because if they did do their homework, they will see that those Koreans are there legally to conduct business because their country invested $4.8 billion to build cars in a facility. And Americans, I'm sorry, they're not close to, me, I prefer to buy a Honda, Toyota, cars that are built by the Asians. I will probably buy cars that are built by Africans before I do by Caucasian. Because I know somehow it's going to be fucked up. Somehow they're going to fuck it up. And she's over there saying, well, if you post my children pictures, legal action will be taken. Bitch, nobody care. Your hatred, your racism caused you to call ISIS and a group of people that are here legally to conduct business so they could return back home. And the Korean president was like, yeah, send our babies home. Send them home to us. They are dragging her to hell. They are dragging her to filth. So she's like, I got invited by the Mormons. Of course the Mormons going to invite you. Of course they're going to invite you. Who else going to invite you anywhere? I futrele ISIS su Korean yo. E pi se Korean yo ki vini, ki built facility pou yo fe machine Hyundai. E pi salope an rele ISIS, e pi ISIS men pa men fe travay yo men pou yo we Korean yo la legally. Kanyali men ishita la pale tente. Hey, America been to no joke.
So finally, and in the end, Tory Branham wanted to, prove that she was tough, patriotic, and unafraid to act. But what she didn't expect was how fast the clap back would come. Not just from the left, but from business leaders, diplomats, and even from ordinary voters who are worried about their jobs. Her move showed one thing clearly. In the contemporary America, immigration isn't just about borders. It's about economic politics and international ties. And by tipping off the eyes, agents lit a fire that spreads far beyond Georgia. So the real question now is this: so will her borderless, make her a hero in the eyes of her base, or will the backlash mark her as reckless, costing her credibility and her shot of power? I go by Sherlock. Once again, if you bumped across this particular channel accidentally, how about a thumbs up? Yeah, there's a like, and of course a sharing, a tiny little comment in the comment section, and a subscription. Don't forget that. You'll be the first one to be notified on our future uploads. And thank you for being there. See you in the next one.